some other stuff because I'm sure we're going to go off about it, and it's going to be like 30 minutes of the whole show. So, I really didn't set up anything. Well, okay, well, let's give the... What?
Well, I know we were discussing, you were talking about, you saw something on Fox News.
Fox
That's
News.
very interesting. I do not know about what you saw, so why don't you start with that?
All right, I'm going to have to find it during the next break, find out what I looked for, which I should have done while I was sitting on my ass doing nothing while these guys were coming up with stuff. What it was on Fox News last week, and of course everybody's going to dismiss it because it's Fox News, because Fox News is entertainment news, not real news. And it's pretty scripted, but this guy comes on and basically, and I've got to look up the article so you guys can see it. I should have given you the information, but he basically said that in today's world, men have become pussies, and we are no more men in the world because the United States have lost its leadership in the role because everybody looks up to the United States as leaders because men are men, and men are pussies now. And to me, that would kind of seem like an idiotic idea that men have taking on the roles like being house dads and sewing and cooking and other roles than what it meant to be a man, because back in the day when, as he stated, that men need to come back and be men, well, back in the day men were also taught to be chauvinistic, racist, bigot assholes. And in my ideas, men today have just added the role to be house dads. Doesn't mean they can't still hunt, camp, fight, shoot guns, and still be men, but they're just taking another role as being maybe house dads. Like you, Sir Waylon.
Yes.
Not only are you a man, because I've seen you working, because we live together, and that turned out like shit because of my ass, but... well, it's true. I'm a jackass.
Turn out like shit.
I'm a jackass.
That's
Come
not
on.
true.
Well, anyways, this man, he would start fires. He would mold iron. Our friend Devin. He's gone over there and ripped trees out by the roots and shit. Chainsaws. I mean, this guy is a man, but he also sews, holds his wife on a pedestal, cares for his kids, and I bet you if he could, he'd probably be a stay-at-home dad. Am I right?
I actually have been a stay-at-home dad before, so yeah.
But does that make you any less of a man?
No, not at all. It just adds to my character.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. And then I also know, like, there's guys that are gay on my Facebook page that you wouldn't know are gay, and
correct.
Outside of what they talk about, that makes them not less of a, they are a gay man, hence the word man in their title. It's just they like other men. That's the, only difference. So, and look at you're bearding, but you're never, yeah.
It's a nice beard, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
It is a nice beard. So,
it's very majestic.
But I mean, do you see men really becoming more wussies or just changing the roles as leader? Because to me, you can still change your role, still be a man, but take a back seat instead of yeah. I'm so used to being by myself, I don't know how to,
Well, we can roll with it. It's totally fine.
We'll start rolling.
Well, I mean, as far as my opinion on what being a man is, you take care of yours.
Right.
I mean, much more than that really is left to whatever anyone's personal definition is, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, it's definitely a subjective matter. I would say, at least in the traditional sense, is being a man is about taking responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay, and being a provider, not just monetary, but also emotionally too for your family. That's not just your wife or significant other or children, but the people you surround yourself with.
Right.
It's all about character, and someone who holds true to their word is another form, I would say, being a man, quote, I feel is very crucial to that role.
Well, I think also you can go out and do a lot of really manly things and not be a man. For instance, if you're going out and getting drunk and playing pool and shooting guns, and when you really should be at home taking care of your kids.
And by the standards of what men used to be like, the show Mad Men, that would be what it is. Going out, getting drunk, womanizing, being a dipshit. But to me, that's not much of a man if you're going to be, fucking somebody over just because they're a woman or a different race or shit.
Right.
That's...
I think what we really need to touch on, what is being a man? Like,
what you guys were talking about.
A lot of roles that we're discussing, women do as well.
Yes, they do.
So really...
Well, I think whatever your role is, I mean, whatever role you end up in, whether you choose it or not, as long as you're taking care of your family, if you're the one washing the dishes, you're being a man.
Yeah.
You're right. It's about taking responsibility and taking care of your family and friends, and taking care is not just, like I said, emotionally being there, but also help running the household, help running the castle, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, I think having all these skills in your life, you know, allows you to be a better person within as well.
Yeah, it does. Oh my God, we should have had somebody with the rebuttals on there. You're right, we should have. You're saying.
Yeah,
we should have. It would have helped out a lot.
It's good radio. We had a nice, like, you know.
It's a one-sided conversation. Awesome.
We all agree. Yes.
That's the show. Thank you. Good night.
I mean, I can play the role if you like.
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't.
Oh, believe me, I can.
Whatever.
I rule. Women are lower forms.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound so
It's
convincing.
not. I can't.
I'm more chauvinistic than that. Come on
I can't
now.
do it. I'm sorry. I try. No, not really.
Okay, but what about the leadership of men in the world today? Being that, you know, because basically this guy, and I'm going to look it up at the break, that said that men have become nothing but freaking pussies, basically wussies, that we've lost the leadership role because everybody looked up to America as leaders because of what men have done.
Well, what do you mean by a loss? I'm kind of confused on that.
Basically
one, because
that-
as far as I know, we still have a male president, and most.
But there's a lot more
Congress-
women in charge in the White House now than there were men. The first lady is having more of an active role than she ever has, so on and so forth.
Well, I think it's just progression. I mean, it's the way we need to go, really. You got to have a balance.
Look at who's best for the job, not what man is best for the job.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but...
I mean, I think being men and women, I mean, it goes beyond, you know, physical parts, obviously. I mean, what really separates us? All right, genetics, obviously.
Yeah. Okay,
and then there is the, you know, brain functions. There is a slight difference there, obviously, but really it's... I'm kind of into, like, equality. That's just my viewpoint on things.
I am to some points, too.
I think once everyone's on an even playing table, you can actually, you know, have different viewpoints and different ideas to better problem solve issues.
Well, when Farrah gets here, we can actually get probably her...
I would love to have her here. That'd be great.
Yeah, we can get a woman's point of view on this.
How much longer?
Well, that was actually something I was thinking about, though.
What?
If it was possible, would you carry a baby?
Hell no! Hell no! Hell no!
No.
Woman!
No.
I mean, come on.
That could be equality,
For
though. That's
me-
ultimate equality.
That is
You
ultimate
know.
quality I don't want. I will stay home and
You know,
fuck that noise.
There are still the natural roles, and I would never want to take that away.
That's a good argument.
Well, it is. Well,
What's a
you know-
natural
You know
role?
what? Really? Listen. For a woman to create life is a very sacred thing.
Yeah, it
and
really
I would
is.
never, in my opinion, ever want to take that away.
Oh, I
That
totally
is-
agree. I'm just
That
trying
is
to set it
their that is their right
They can have
as
it.
a human being to
Right.
procreate, and that right there is
Closer.
it's just a very beautiful process, and that right there is just to me very sacred, and I don't think we should mess with that. Personally, that's just my opinion. You know, there are certain areas we don't.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've never got with religious figures through history. They've always looked down on women, but women are the giver of life. They go through a lot more, their bodies go through a lot more shit than
Yes,
ours
they
bodies
do.
ever
Yes, they
have.
do.
Something I would never want to touch on. I've taken really bad shits that hurt, and I could damn well understand what it means to have a fucking baby come out my ass. So, you know, and I just don't understand that, like, making women second class and this whole, like, we must take leadership back. I mean...
I don't even know why we have to do classes. I mean, everyone has their roles. If you look at, all right, this is what you do and this is what I do, and if we can work together, you know, that's a beautiful concept.
It really is.
You know,
I mean, it could work
There's
together.
no one better than the other, okay? You each provide something, you bring something to the table, and you become better than what you were before.
Yeah.
Boom.
So...
Well, the logic that I was trying to get to, though, is that when I asked, would you carry a child if you were able, was that, okay, you hit on it. It's natural roles, air quotes you can't see on the radio.
Air quotes.
And, like, what other sort of natural roles are there? I mean, by and large, men are larger, stronger.
At times, yes, but it's nowadays though with the women the way they work, it's the playing field's getting very equal.
Well, the playing field's more equal as far as strength goes, I guess, than it has been. But
Yes.
it's still by and large men are stronger than women.
In some respects, yeah, yeah.
Well, physically, let's just stick to physically.
I know some women that can kick my ass, dude.
Well, I know plenty of women that can
That
kick
wouldn't
my
take
ass.
much, bud.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Whoa.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Look,
I had to.
man.
I had to. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I love you.
Whatever. Suck you. Yeah, but no, I mean, but you were talking like I've seen you with your wife. You put her up on a pedestal. Me, I like either equal or I'm not gonna lie, I like to be up a little bit. Oh, cigarette. What is that?
You want an ashtray?
Yeah.
Oh, ashtray. That's
I need
good.
a little water in here.
Yeah, maybe I should make this more smoky. But yeah, for me though, in my household, I like to have more of a controlling, control of the. That was awesome.
Okay, yeah. What you couldn't see is I was asking my lovely girlfriend.
She is awesome, by the way.
For a cigarette, and in the theme of the conversation,
She started bowing.
She hopped off the chair and started bowing to me.
Yeah, I mean, like me in my relationship, I would rather have an equal or more controlling factor in a relationship. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. And that's why I stay single, because that's just not correct to be a controlling factor in a relationship. Mm-hmm. I look at it logically, and that's what I want. I just doubt any woman would want to be a part of that, So, and you guys are like equal or...
Yeah, I mean, it varies. I mean,
yeah.
I think as humans, individually speaking, we all kind of like to have our own way and do our own things. That's why we have conversations. Hey, here's this idea, and basically you're just trying to pitch your viewpoint on something. And if it goes your way, great. If not, well, that's fine too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You pick your battles,
Sometimes that's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy in any relationship, regardless if it is a sexual relationship or a work relationship or even just friendship. It's a partnership.
Yeah, I did have one girl tell me one time that she thinks that, I think men want an independent women.
What we have here is the rare behind-the-scenes look.
Yeah. Jizz in my pants.
Bug is
Are we videoing?
on a break for the moment, and is queuing up stuff. And at any minute now, he's going to remember to Google that thing he promised his listeners he'd Google. Oh, there it is. And we have Waylon.
Hello.
And you have to forgive me. I'm sorry.
Farrah, like Farrah Fawcett.
Farrah.
Like Farrah Fawcett, I love that.
That's the only way people remember it.
To take a foreigner to come into the United States to tell us that American men are on the decline. What is happening?
Don't listen to Fox News, listen to the
Well,
guy.
no, it's not just American men, Clayton. It's men all around the world. I mean, even in Australia, we've gone from wrestling with crocodiles to wrestling with lattes. But it's a phenomenon that is, I think, very dangerous, and it's having a very adverse effect on men right around the world. And American men are, of course, very susceptible to it. It's really important, particularly in America, given the leadership role that America has in the world,
Sure.
that American men be men.
Right. Well, is this in direct relation to feminism on the rise? Is it a result of just sort of society seeing men that are not as masculine and men that are as masculine being kind of demonized?
Elizabeth, you've hit the nail on the head. It is feminism. And basically what feminism has delivered is angry women and feminine men. And it emerges from this mindset that a lot of women have unfortunately bought into, this destructive idea that men prevent them from being able to achieve their goals. And from the left, from the politically correct,
God forbid.
we have all these attacks on men. It's a very hard time to be a man in today's society.
You gave an interview with the Daily Caller in which you said this. I think this sums up nicely. You said all aspects of male culture have been called into question, whether it's gathering around on a Sunday afternoon to watch football with a few friends, whether it's going to the range and shooting some guns, whether it's just being a male has now been really made suspect. Is it because we've sort of whitewashed the differences between the genders? That is, that, you know what, men, no, we just need to be more like women. We just need to make everyone neutral territory now.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what's happened. And we've reached a point now where men, when they want to make a decision, when they want to speak up at a meeting, when they want to say something, they're sweating more than Paris Hilton doing a crossword. I mean, they really feel uncomfortable.
That would be difficult.
Do you see this affect?
All right. Oh, I'm gonna turn this off. Hi, guys. Welcome back to Daddy's House. If you want to put headphones on, you can right there. They're kind of lumbering and stuff. All right, we are back to Daddy's House, and that was the reason why I decided to have this show. And if these guys weren't here, I'd probably be going ape shit and nuts and jumping off the walls. But we have Waylon and we have Farrah, and Waylon is a designer and father, and Farrah is the creator and what else? You have to get up to the mic and talk a little bit.
Creator and editor of the blurb.
Of the blurb, yes. And so we have, and I don't know if we're gonna have much of a rebuttal because we're all pretty much, I think, on the same page. I really fucked this pooch on this one. So
No, you didn't.
So anyways, so that was the story. Of course, folks, it is Fox News. Let's make the disclaimer right there. It is Fox News. And if you watch Fox News, entertainment news, kind of like wrestling, you have physical guys doing physical actions up there, which turns into entertainment, which that's Fox News. They're giving you news, but they're spinning it a little bit like they are with this guy here. They aren't leading this guy. They're leading this guy with his questions, but this guy is probably telling you exactly what he feels about the book he has written to sell books. And so what is your guys' take on this guy saying men have been wussified because women are taking a role in the world? I mean, do you feel emasculated whatsoever that women like her are taking more control? And you've got a job that you probably got more control, like you definitely make more money than I do, right?
Sure.
Sure. So, but that doesn't make me feel any less of a man. And I mean, do you feel emasculated whatsoever?
Not at all. I love the fact that women want to take more of a role. Makes my job a lot easier.
and what about you? What do you think of men being emasculated?
I will admit, I've had some times where I've not even calmed myself down. I girled myself up a little bit more, I guess that's the way to say it, and put myself in certain roles, in certain relationships, because a lot of guys did not like how headstrong I was ever since high school. When I was in high school, my freshman year, I did auto shop in JROTC. Loved it.
Shop, hell yeah.
I did auto shop for 3 years in high school. The only reason why I wasn't able to do it my last year is because they would put all the boys in the class before they would put somebody who signed up for the class, like a girl. And they always assumed that I was in the class to flirt with guys, even though I had the top grade in the class.
By the way, there's a ticking going on in my car.
But like I realized I actually had one of the guys on the wrestling team, I wrestled also, tell me that
You wrestled also?
Yeah, I was
Fuck yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I was a 5'8" or 5'8", 5'9", very tall girl who wrestled and was in auto shop and couldn't figure out why I had a hard time dating. And I actually literally had a guy tell me,
"Come here, boy."
I had a guy one time, and I was very girly. I would come to auto shop in heels and a dress and change into, this one piece to go and work and, and stuff like that. There's actually a picture of me from auto shop where I'm leaning over a car in what my auto shop teacher called go-go boots and a dress, working on the car.
I gotta say, that's kind of hot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're making a lot of guys really happy right now.
I always thought I was very girly, but I was actually told by a lot of guys that I should calm myself down a little bit and not be as girly if I expected to keep a boyfriend. So I know what it's like to be in that role and think that that's your problem, is because you're too much for guys to handle.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I don't feel emasculated because you are in charge of Blurb, and I'm technically working for you in that magazine, doing the column thing. But I don't feel that I'm being emasculated because a woman's in charge of me when it comes to that shit. It makes no sense to feel threatened by the fact that somebody's taken another role that once would have been a man's role, but it's not anymore. It makes no sense. Everybody's got ideas. And there should be no shame in somebody taking control of the reins from anybody,
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, the times are different now.
It's not even the matter.
I mean,
it is, the times are different, but it just makes no sense. For the, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little more widely. I don't know.
I mean, one thing also you have to remember: times are different. Or one thing you have to remember is that times are different, but we still do live in the South, and we kind of are stuck in our ways.
Well, I don't get what you're talking about.
We kind of are stuck in our ways a lot. So a lot of times if I go and I'm working with somebody, instead of putting on that very masculine role that a lot of girls do, I'm sitting up here and I'm very nice, and I dress up, and I'm talking in a very nice manner where you get what I'm saying, but I'm not too aggressive. And the thing is, I don't want to be that way. Sometimes I need to be the person that puts my foot down and cusses somebody out or something like that. Sometimes it happens. I need to be that person. But I can't be that person, because if that's the case, everybody's going to leave and be like, Farrah's such a bitch. Oh my gosh, she's such a bad person.
Now, is this in the workforce?
This is in any projects that I take on, any workforce. It's just, if I have to be the person that is aggressive in the situation, nobody wants to deal with me. Everybody's like, she's so emotional, blah, 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 blah. But if I'm just nice and sweet and I have to ask you 500 times to do something, then everybody's just like, oh, well, you know, it's just Farrah, so I'll get to it when I get to it. There's no middle ground. It sucks.
Oh, man.
Now, I mean, I'm a little confused here. You're saying that you have to be a certain way. Now, is this because you work in an environment where you have to oversee employees, or like what do you
In
say?
a lot of situations, when I was doing everything from putting shows together to...
Women actually do have to pull themselves a little stronger than men in a lot of situations, from auto mechanics to like you said, putting shows together. They have to show a little more strength than guys.
I used to have a situation where I was putting shows together and I was managing bands for a little bit and stuff like that. And there were no women in these situations. It was just me. So I'm sitting up here and I'm having to be really nice and girly, and I'm like, hey guys, you know, you're about to go on stage in 5 minutes. Can you get together and, you know, get ordered and blah, 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 blah. I had times where I was working with one band and they didn't decide to tell me that they changed their drummer to a 15-year-old the day of the show. They came to the show with a 15-year-old and we're going into a 21 and up bar. And I'm like, I had to pull strings to get you in here. Wow. And I was like, why didn't you feel like you needed to tell me this? And I'm sitting up here and I'm trying not to be too aggressive. I'm talking very nice. I'm like, guys, I don't know if this is going to work out. And they were just like, oh, you know, it's not that big of a deal, blah, 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 blah. And I realized that in the situation, if I want to be in charge, sometimes you have to get mean. But when you do, which is a situation I did get mean and I got a little angry, I became the bitch and nobody wanted to work with me. And everybody was just like, oh, well, Farrah's such a bitch because she told us what to do.
That's business.
Exactly.
Yeah. But women seem to have, and I've actually noticed this from the strip clubs to bars in general, that women, they have to put themselves out there a little more than men. Because guys don't listen to them as much because, you know, it's always been the man's role to do things. A woman comes along, oh, whatever, they just kind of shrug it off. And that's why I see people like Jenny McCarthy and stuff who take their looks but will play it off really well because they know the guys are looking at the looks and then they'll fuck with them, you know, because that's the only way they can get a positive response, you know. You know, it's tough.
That's the thing. The whole thing is a game. It really is. It's sad and it's sick and it sounds perverted as it is, but it's a game. And basically, you're playing this game and you're being told that you can rather go two ways in this game. You could be a complete bitch and get what you want, or you could sell yourself and get what you want. Either way, it's not coming out in a good way.
Yeah, and a lot of women don't respond to it well. I mean, especially since I work in the strip club, I've seen a lot of women that will come in, they're strong and trying to be headstrong, go to school, you know, do what, but then they just something happens because they kind of lost control because that's how they feel they're being treated all the time.
What's even worse is a lot of times this isn't women having to, you know, work with men. A lot of times it's a lot of women don't respond to female bosses very well.
No, they don't.
You think they're just not used to that?
That I'm not used to it, or
no, the people who respond to your assertiveness.
I think
saying that.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. I think that's the situation.
assertiveness.
I think a lot of them. My mom is very assertive, so we're used to dealing with a woman who's in charge. So, and I was raised by so many women. There are barely any men in my family. There are a bunch of women raising even more women and like a few guys, just a few guys. But, you know, in a lot of situations I've seen where if I even ask nicely for somebody to do something, they feel like they shouldn't have to do it. It's a lot of times it comes from guys.
Right.
And it's just, it's kind of hard
You think
to
you
see.
can not ask but tell nicely?
And I've tried that. I've tried that. I mean, I've had situations where it's just been like, hey, I need you to do this. And
yeah, we as guys, we still are a little more fortunate for the fact that people listen to us
That's
more.
correct. It's like,
not
I want to
all
have an
guys.
opinion, but I don't.
It's not all guys,
Yeah.
but
Well, it got me thinking, actually, you talking. I wonder if the modern woman seems to be taking that word back, the word bitch. And I wonder if taking bitch back is a response to that's how you get shit done.
yeah.
Good point.
I mean, like Tina Fey said, bitches get shit done.
There you go.
I mean, it's just.
Well, I like bitches.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, at least you know where they stand.
I get bored very easily.
I mean, think about all the hell that Hillary Clinton gets. I
Yeah.
know that's a crazy example.
She's more of a man than most men that I know. Okay, let me just say that.
If she wants
She
to be,
ran this country perfect in the 90s.
This is true.
Oh, that's awesome.
oh gosh, I'm just waiting for her next term. I really am. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, honestly, as from my point of view, I do see guys being emasculated, but that's because their education is slowly weaning of who they want to be as opposed to who they need to be in today's world. You know,
This is true.
seriously, like, you know, me and you, Waylon, we are in a different school of thinking, you know, and Josh, you too. You guys are still manly men. You respect her. I've seen how you treat her. You treat her very well. I've seen you treat, you know, your wife very well. You guys understand, but you're not anything less than a man. You still do the manly things.
Correct.
We played in the woods hunting and not hunting,
Sure
but
did.
building fires, and you were taking the metal and, oh, you're a man.
Hatchets and shit. It was
But
awesome.
he sews. He's a designer, and he
I do
puts his
that.
wife on a pedestal. And he takes care of the kids. He's been a stay-at-home dad. My friend Josh, who was supposed to be here, he was a stay-at-home dad as well. But they didn't fall short of the idea of
And I
being
can
men.
cook too, mind you.
Yeah, you can. Oh yeah, and then
Very
at the
well.
parties. Oh dude, then we'd have parties. We need to invite her some of your parties. He would have ale in like the Viking idea of ale in the horn and you know, and you know he is
I
man.
have no problem having a Viking horn and wearing a dress at the same
But
time.
the word emasculation is not something I would put on him or myself.
Well, again, they're roles. I mean,
But we understand that most men
It's-
they don't see that, and they have to. The ladies like this have to take a lot of shit to get shit done.
well, that's why we're having this radio show
Take-
and talks
take the
and
word
whatnot
bitch back.
because, well, you know, once you get the information out and you keep saying it and keep saying it, you know, it becomes normal.
But it's gonna
You
take
know?
a long way to make it normal.
Well, like for you, for instance, you say you're having issues, you know, asserting yourself, you know, and you have to take a step back. However, you know, from a man's perspective, I guess you want to say it's like I would say no, keep doing what you're doing because they need to get used to that because that's the way we're going. You know, I don't care if it's the South or fucking Siberia. Okay.
Thank God it's not super because that shit be cold.
Oh God, I
No,
can't deal
don't
with
hold back because when you're holding back, you're not being true to yourself. You know, you're creating a form of slavery within your own mind. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, in a perfect world, the idea is if you're true to yourself too, you show that to the world, you'll find a man that respects you for it, and you
You're damn right.
have a much happier relationship
Like
being
attracts like,
yourself
my friend.
Right.
in a relationship. There's
Yeah.
no changing yourself up to reel one in. That's just
Nope.
short-sighted.
Nope. Not at all.
I need to get the other mic set up for you with the stand. Come on, man. So, all right, we're gonna go to some more music, and then we're gonna sit back and whatever, and I'm gonna play a really.
Oh, we got so much more material.
We do. All right,
Getting
guys.
feisty.
All right, we'll talk to you in a few minutes.
Yes.